Hey guys, welcome back to the Aerospace³ project, and in today's video, I will be going over the entire Embraer E-Jet family. But before I get into that, I just kind of like to go over a little bit of information regarding updates and the channel. And so starting that off, I've noticed in the past couple of videos of the Aerospace³ project, I've been getting a lot of questions regarding whether or not I'm going to be doing tutorials. So to kind of answer that question, I just have to say no, I don't plan on it at the moment. And the reason why is the Aerospace³ project was really, in my mind, supposed to be something where I showcase the plans that I've built for the airport that will be coming in the future. So if you are interested, though, in kind of finding out how to build these planes for yourself, I recommend downloading the planes that come at the end of the month. So right now we already have the A320 out and the A321. I'll get to the A319 in a second, but I recommend downloading those and kind of deconstructing them for yourself so you can kind of see how I put those together. But if you're interested in the process that I use to build these planes and you kind of want to get into it yourself, what I recommend doing is actually checking out. This video will be in the description, by the way, is my old Minecraft Airport tutorial series where the process that I use in that video, even though it's so old and you probably won't even recognize my voice in that video, the process I use in that is virtually the same as what I do nowadays. The process I use for Photoshop and getting plans and then putting those plans into a usable and constructive fashion in terms of scaling them. I teach you all how to do that for yourself. And the great thing about that video is, or that video series, is that you can apply that to any plane you want to build, any scale you want to build it in, and just know that really the only differences between back then and now is that I spend a lot more time looking up information and resources and photos so that I can add lots of extra details that you used to not see in my older Minecraft Airport Update series for 2-to-1 aircraft. So that's really it for that. And then going back to the A319, I'm sorry, which I mentioned a little bit ago, for the download for that, it won't be coming until the end once I finish all the planes and put up downloads for those. And that because the reason is I don't really want to add update downloads until I get through all the plans and I do upload them all once to Planet Minecraft at least once. And then I'll go back through and re-upload all the plans again if there's any changes or updates that I've made to them, any extra liveries I've created for those aircraft. And I have made a couple, they're small but big enough changes to the A319, A320, and A321s that if I uploaded the A319 now, it would be different than what's up for the A320 and A321. So I don't feel comfortable doing that. So that's why, unfortunately, there won't be a download for those aircraft until the second round of finished airplanes for you guys to download. And then finally, I know we're 3 minutes into this video already, but one last thing I promise. For any of you who are interested in the Titanic series on my channel that is being done with Gantry 401, my team that's working on the RMS Titanic in 4-to-1 scale. For anyone who's interested in that project, my question to you is, are you or would you be interested in a live streaming series that would come up probably every 2 months where it would just be a video of us building on the ship so you can kind of see what the current progress of the ship is and how we work and just feel like you're part of the team, and a great opportunity for you guys to ask questions in between the larger, more professionally done update videos that showcase more interesting things. Because for the past couple of months since the update video that came out about over half a year ago now, we've been working hard, and especially in the past couple of months, we've really been working a lot trying to get as much done as we can, and we're almost ready to do another update video, but not quite. So if you guys are interested in that, please leave a comment and I will get that set up as soon as we can so we can start those live streams as quickly as we can for you guys and so we can interact in a new kind of interesting way. And The team likes it. I like it. I just think it's a great idea. And hopefully some of you would be interested in something like that between the update videos. Because really, the thing that keeps me from doing an update video is I like to show off things that I think are worthy of a video. And right now we don't have quite enough impressive video worthy things done. Although so many things have been done since the last update video. They just they wouldn't be ready or interesting for a video. It'd be like, here's a lot of pipes that have changed. Here's a lot of structural stuff. I know for a video like that, a lot of people are expecting things like, here's all the cargo spaces done, which is almost done, by the way, but not quite. So leave your thoughts, leave your comments on that, your opinions, if that's something you would like to see in the future. But now let's get into the Embraer 190, which seats around 94 people, depending on how many classes there are, if there's a business class and economy or just economy in general. The dimensions of the aircraft is 36.24 meters long. It has a wingspan of 28.72 meters and a height of 10.57 meters. The engines on this aircraft are GE CF3410Es, and it has two cargo doors, one behind the wings and one in front of the wings. It has rear landing gear right there, two rear landing gear right there. I think I said rear for this one. This is the forward landing gear. And on the nose of the aircraft, it has the altimeters, airspeed indicators, temperature gauges, such as the like of those sensors. And then on the top of the aircraft, it has the navigation, beacons, antennas, and on the bottom of the aircraft, you have two navigation lights on the wings themselves, including the one red and green on the sides of the wings. Moving back further, we have on the E190, just really all the E-jets in general, they have this long silver APU unit, and that's what that is on the back of the aircraft. And then you have three sets of doors, one emergency exit door over the wings. You might notice that between the E190, 175, and 170, the E190 is the only one with this livery, and then those two over there have a similar but slightly different one. The photos I found really showed only the E190 having this newer updated livery, and I'm pretty sure the work that's being done to update and improve on the E175 and E170, we'll be seeing this livery pretty soon in more photos, but that's why there's that discrepancy in the house. Moving back further, here we have Air Canada. Even in this scale, the little leaf on the back of the plane and the winter kind of green tinge turned out pretty well for the size I had to work with on the tail itself. And then here is a completely new company that we haven't seen before this point, and this is the Brazilian company Azul. To me, it's very, very similar to JetBlue. It's kind of a regional aircraft. As far as I can tell, a low-cost carrier, and the reason why it reminds me of JetBlue is just its name literally means in Portuguese and Spanish blue, so it probably has something to do with that. But one of the more interesting aircraft that I've done so far. And here we go, another new company. This is Aero Mexico. We'll actually go inside this plane in a second. But before I do that, I just want to point out because I'm sorry, not the wings, the engines on these aircraft are smaller. To define their shape, I was required to use more slabs and stairs. So when I have to color the engines like they are painted on the aircraft, I have to do stuff like this, at least until Minecraft maybe in the future will include stair wool blocks and half slab wool blocks. But until then, that's unfortunately how it has to go. But we'll enter here from the front through the first entrance. And we can see already it has a lavatory on the left side of the aircraft. And on the right side, it has the forward galley, microwave oven type area for the stewards, and a button there to enter the cockpit. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess that button doesn't work actually, so we'll have to enter here. the cockpit on this aircraft. It has the throttles right there. It has little buttons on the front of the aircraft. And unlike Airbus, the handles, the control stick on this aircraft is of a more contemporary, not a contemporary, I'm sorry. Contemporary would be the flight stick of Airbus aircraft, kind of the more traditional flight controls that you'd be more accustomed to on a Boeing aircraft. But then, moving back into the business class, they have monitors on the back of the seats. It's pretty nice. And then, obviously, a very small business class on such a small plane before you move into economy, which also has TV monitors on the back of those seats. So, pretty nice overall. And then we find ourselves in the back lavatory with the coffee maker, more drawers and cupboards for equipment and supplies. And then we have another it goes nowhere lavatory. But that's it before moving out to the back of the aircraft. Moving on, we get to American Airlines' American Eagle service, which flies the E190. You know, I know in the previous video I said that I wasn't really too big of a fan of the modern American flag style of tail and kind of bland. But now that I've built it more than once, and I kind of compare it to a lot of the different companies that are flying these days, it's actually really grown on me in a lot of ways. I like the silver design. I like the tail. I think it is a really unique feature. You know exactly what company it is once you see it. There's really no other planes like it in the sky at the moment. So if they wanted it to be noticeable, I mean, they really did a good job with that. But now on to one of my favorite companies, which is JetBlue, who only fly the A320, 21, and E190. I am now able to show you the last of the regular JetBlue tail designs. So, starting off here, we have dots, I believe, more like blocks at this scale. And then back a little bit further, it's kind of hard to tell, but this is supposed to be mosaic pattern. Speaking of doing liveries on different aircraft and more aircraft, this is probably one I will be doing on the A320s at some point, just because I would like to see if I could have another go at it, maybe make it look a bit more defined. But the rectangles just kind of come together on this small scale, and it's a little bit hard to tell exactly what's going on. It still looks cool, but maybe I'll have a little bit better time with it on the A320s. And then finally we have Barcode. It's really easy to tell even though it looks more like a checkerboard pattern just at the angle because you have the orange stripes, which is only on the Barcode pattern of JetBlue. One of the newer designs compared with Dots, which is one of the really old ones that I put on the aircraft. I'm not sure how many JetBlue aircraft actually have Dots anymore, but it can't be too many because just finding photos of that one was quite a challenge. But now we are moving back towards the front of the line to go over the Embraer 175, which kind of just looking at it, you can see it's slightly smaller aircraft overall, so it's going to be seating less people, around 78 depending on the classes. The dimensions of the E175, the length of the aircraft is 31.68 meters. It has a wingspan of slightly shorter than the E190 of 26.7 meters, and the height is also slightly smaller at 9.67 meters. The engines, however, are a slightly less powerful version of the E190 engines, the GE CF34-8Es for smaller, more lightweight aircraft, doesn't need as much propulsion, so it saves a bit more fuel. So the E175 definitely is a popular aircraft for a lot of carriers that want to get into the shorter distance market and more regional game. E190 does a good job of that too, but that's why, for example, the E170, you won't see as many carriers flying that as the E175 and E190. One thing I didn't show off on the E190, but I'll take the chance to do it now, is that the cargo doors on these aircraft are, unfortunately, again, not really functional. There is no cargo area. Until I get to a larger aircraft, I don't think I'll be able to be doing those areas, but it's just kind of an unfortunate consequence of the scale itself. And then, of course, you have the APU unit on the back. Moving on to one of the largest airlines in the world, Delta, one of my favorites as well. Delta Connection is actually this plane. Clearly, this is Delta, and clearly that's this Connection. Looks good, I think. The Delta symbol turned out better than I thought it was going to at this scale. Kind of got that to work, and it can only improve from there with planes in the future that'll be larger than these. United, the globe here looks a little sad just because of the space I had to work with, but you can kind of tell there's the circle, and then there's the lines in the white. But it just kind of had just what I had to go with for the size. And now on to the third new company that we are introducing in this video is Alaska Airlines. Now, a lot of you probably are familiar with the 737s, which use a more black and dark green color scheme. But as far as photos of the E175 are concerned, Alaska Airlines chooses to use a more standard blue, and then they have above the blue stripe, they actually have a green stripe, a lime green stripe. But unfortunately, just because of the scale, putting a green stripe up here would be too much, so I was forced to leave it out. And then back again, we have Air Canada and American Airlines, but we've already seen those in the other line of E190s. So we can just head back up to the front for the Embraer 170s, which seat around 70 people, depending once again on if there's a first class or economy class. Generally, for the E170, there's only an economy class. There's not business on most of the aircraft, just because the companies that are flying them are more concerned with the small trips, like business hopping between different cities. For example, pretty popular in the UK, popular in Europe, and in the US, in certain hubs, you'll see some of these just depending on some of the smaller airports. But the dimensions of the E170, it is 29.9 meters long, but between the E170 and E175, all the other dimensions are the same. One thing I didn't go over before is the tail, actually. And although the height of the aircraft is slightly smaller, about a meter, in 1.5:1 scale, actually, I'm sorry, a little less than a meter, the height difference really doesn't translate to the Minecraft version of the airplane. So all the tails are the same size, the same shape, and that's just kind of how it had to be to keep them as accurate to the plane as I possibly could. Here's a British Airways E170, and then our first Asian carrier, JAL, or Japan Airlines. I really like the livery on this plane. I like the rising sun on the tail. I like the swoop that they have going on between the J, A, and L. It's just a really sleek aircraft, really sleek paint job, and look forward to including more of the planes in the future. And for our final plane at the airport, we have the LOT. Looks pretty cool. The letters on this are actually very similar to Alaska Airlines, and the blocky kind of text really worked well for the logo. It's actually very similar to what you'll see on the real thing. So for once in my life, the blockiness of Minecraft letters actually worked in my favor there. But other than that, that's pretty much it. So hopefully you enjoyed this video and enjoyed all the planes that I showcased in this video. Look forward to the downloads at the end of the month. And leave in the comments actually what airplane you'd like to see next. I want to kind of have a vote. And if you guys want to see a larger aircraft, if you want to see maybe an older aircraft like the MD-80, I could do that. So if you're looking for something impressive, maybe the 777. If you're looking for something kind of unique, uh, leave that as well. So thanks a lot, and I will see you in the next episode of the Aerospace Q project. See you guys.